We went to go see the new Dracula movie, the 2025 Luc Besson version.
Luc Besson.
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 So we went to go see that at the theater.
You mean the best Dracula movie ever made?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're going to talk about it, and you're not going to like it.
What makes it the best Dracula movie?
Yeah, not
vampire movie.
I still think Sinners is the best vampire movie ever made.
Oh, Sinners was amazing.
It's hard. You could argue it's not a vampire movie, though. It's a movie where vampires are the part of the situation, but it's not. It depends on what you consider a vampire movie. As far as this Dracula movie, we're going to get broad and then we're going to touch on some points because we're actually taking a huge pot shot at Francis Ford Coppola's version of Dracula.
Which, if you've watched our previous videos, because we did one on favorite vampire TV series and we did another one.
Off the list.
And we did another one on our favorite, like, top 5 or whatever vampire movies, and it got booted completely.
Okay, so let's...
Like, it's iconic,
Well,
though.
we watched it last night, and here's the thing. So we watched both movies. Also, we have seen Dracula twice now, the new one, and it was much better in the theater. We saw it in September or October. We got a copy of it online because it's available for streaming. Please go support this movie in the theater. Yes. Please go support artistic movies in the theater, whether they're good or bad. Stop supporting these giant corporations where they're just making the same movie over and over and just changing out the main characters with different faces. Yeah. This movie is fantastic, and I'm going to get into why. First of all, Francis Ford Coppola's movie is not cohesive. It goes from scene to scene, and if you watch it intently without your phone, without doing anything else, it drags. For 2 hours and 10 minutes. It's 2 hours and 7 minutes.
You know, it's weird because I usually watch it like every couple of years, during the season. And when we watched it last night, after seeing the new 2026 version, it was not the movie that I remember. I don't know if it's been destroyed for me at this point. I mean, there's still a lot of wonderful things about the Francis Ford Coppola version. The costuming is beautiful, won awards.
Here's what I think is the big problem. We watch a lot of 90s movies when we get the chance, and some of them are classics, and some of them it has become very obvious that the pacing for modern movies, has changed because of attention. Honestly, also probably because of editing, because people have figured out how to make a movie tell a better story, and this is an example where it is not held up. It is not the pacing, the editing, it's all just works against the movie. It feels like it takes forever to get through it. Unlike Dracula by Luc Besson, which is about the same length, but the whole time you're kind of watching and going, wow, and it works.
Well, let's talk about the plot.
Okay.
I mean, the plot obviously is based on the Bram Stoker Dracula,
loosely
novel.
In this one.
A little more loosely
Honestly,
in this one.
Francis Ford Coppola, in retrospect, may have stuck to the book a little too tightly. Like, it may be a little too close to the book, even though that's what he was making. Between seeing the latest Nosferatu, other versions of Nosferatu, and this version of Dracula, I think that they made choices in this version which are very different. Mm-hmm. Oh, and there are spoilers if you haven't seen it yet.
If you don't know the story of Dracula at this point...
Well, there's going to be spoilers to the new movie.
Well, okay, yes. I like very much that it is told from the point of view and the heartbreak of Dracula himself, the character of Dracula.
Which, if I'm not mistaken, is one thing that it's not told from the point of view in the novel or in the movie. Right. But let's get into some more points. So let's start. Okay, the costuming in Francis Ford Coppola's movie was great, very stylized. And in this movie, we've done medieval reenactment for a long time. The costuming in this one didn't set us off. It was really well done. It looked the part. Every time there was a different time period, it looked right. Yeah. I think part of the reason they moved this...
Accuracy, too.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. In fact, it even looked hand-stitched in some places.
It was amazing. Yeah. Every time I was looking at the screen, I was like, I want to dress like that. I want an outfit like that.
I think part of the reason they did that is because they want a chance at this year's Oscar category, because we don't know what's coming through this year compared to last year. And sometimes movies will get kicked out like this when it's a minor Oscar win like that into the next Oscar season because they have a better chance or a better chance at representation. Yeah, because getting a nomination, winning an Oscar is not as important as the nomination. Getting the nomination is the win. So when your team gets best, nominated for best costuming, that ensures they're going to have work for the next 15 to 20 years.
Gorgeous scenery.
Yeah, but I don't think very little of that stuff was built. Like, I think he literally went, we're going to go to these
I wonder if they
places.
actually filmed it at Versailles.
We'd have to go.
We'd have to look that up.
We'd have to go to Versailles.
We would have to.
Book those tickets. Put a comment down below if you agree or disagree with us, and also if you want us to go to Versailles and do some scientific snooping.
Tell me about the armor.
So
in the film.
The armor was really cool. We didn't see a lot of it. It's really only at the beginning of the movie. Not even at the end is there that much. But at the very beginning, he goes off to fight the Turks. And the armor he has this cool dragon look to it because Dracula is supposed to be of the house or the son of the dragon, whatever that means. And he has like this cool thing that drapes over his arm with the scales and the dragon head. And, parade armor like that, we have excellent examples of stuff like that. I don't know as much in battle if a lot of that got used. A lot of the more ornate armor, you would have people who had nice armor and they had etching and stuff on it, but maybe more for tournaments and parades than field battles. Field battles, things were going to get ugly and no one really cares. I mean, there was still above munition grade stuff.
Yeah.
What did you think of the battles?
Well, I think that the fighting scenes in the new movie were really well done. He looks like he knows what he's doing. He's a great fighter. One of the things that I thought was cool, comparison between both films, because we did just watch Francis Ford Coppola's version last night, and the backdrop, because we talked about the sets, it was all done with sets. There's this almost shadow puppet scene with the red in the background, and you see the pikes, the spears or whatever that had the impaled bodies, as they're coming back for more, having shown that they've won the battle. Well, then in the new film, this amazing scene where they've won the battle, and you're seeing the Turk camp where their leader there is, and comes up over the crest of the hill, and he puts this spear down, and it's got a head impaled on it. And then the rest of the army kind of comes up around him, and they have the same thing. And the similarity there, of course, being a reference to Vlad the Impaler, was just a really cool in both movies.
I thought it was really cool. I thought it was also really impactful because it was oh crap. The Turks flee after that because they see them oh man, we're not having a good day.
Well, this army was supposed to be, he was supposed to be a battle, known for his prowess in battle, and this scary individual to be feared by anyone that tried to invade their lands, which was really cool.
One of the things I liked about the new movie is the special effects were either subtle or seamless, minus one part, the gargoyles, which were really cool. Obviously, they didn't stick out as far as didn't look like it belonged, but there's a bunch of stone gargoyles that are his servants, and it's really cool how they do that. And then what they end up revealing them to be at the end, and it fit. It worked. It was kind of the first time we watched it. I felt campy, but then the second time the campiness wasn't really there.
I didn't get that sense at all when we watched it in the theater.
But I thought that was cool. But beyond that, whatever special effects they had were really subtle. They didn't really break. Unlike Francis Ford Coppola's version, where they were really kind of overt special effects at times.
Yes, but for instance, the scene where the Count is climbing down the wall in the Francis Ford Coppola version, and it looks really, kind of like he's a lizard, kind of creeping. That's actually in the book, and it is described exactly like that, where he looks like a lizard. They use that word actually in the book. And then also this blue flame is talked about. That's actually in the book as well. It's supposed to represent a supernatural element. And in this book being written 130 years ago.
129 years ago.
There we go. 129 years ago.
1897.
I think that's exactly why Coppola put that in there. It's because it's actually referenced in the book, this blue supernatural flame.
But even in the movie, it's still kind of like even one of the characters like, what the hell is that? Like at one point in the movie, right? Like there's
make references to
they make a reference like, what the hell is that? Like it's weird. It's cool.
In the books, it starts out, a lot of it is letters, diary entries from the various characters, notes from the doctor as this plot unfolds that Bram Stoker wrote. Now, Harker being the first to, the diary entries are from his point of view as he's at the castle with the Count. And that's kind of how the whole story starts out. So Harker is a major character, and in Coppola's version, that holds true. We got Keanu Reeves, and he was very much criticized for his role.
It wasn't that bad when we watched it yesterday. I mean,
I love Keanu Reeves, but
it wasn't as bad as when he was in, was it Dangerous Liaisons or whatever that book is? It was right before that he did that where he literally had no acting chops.
Those historical portrayals maybe isn't his forte. So, but then we get the new version, and Harker's character is very much a secondary. They don't make him particularly likable. And the reason I think for that is because our protagonist in this one is Dracula. We're getting it from his point of view. And we are, we're feeling his heartbreak. We're on his side through this entire story. And
I think that's part of it.
We don't want to like
so
the other guy.
Spoiler alert, in this version of Dracula, Mina never really likes Harker. Like he kind of popped the question on her and she said yes, but she, unlike the Francis Ford Coppola version, she kind of just showed up to town 3 days before, and then he proposed to her for some reason, and then he took off, and she's not in it.
Things were done like that in period.
She's not in it to win it.
No.
And this is really a story again about their love story. Originally the title was Dracula, a Love Tale, and it's about Mina and Dracula, or Elizabetta and Dracula, and it's not about Harker. And
right.
he takes a back seat, which is fine.
They still hold true to the books to the point where, he escapes. He then assists in trying to thwart the Count, and so on. So we do get all of that part of the story. The differences between Lucy...
I was going to say, with Mina,
and
let's
Maria.
stay on Mina for a second. What do you think are the big differences between Mina and both stories?
I think we get a better sense of Mina's, and when I say Mina, really Elizabetta is the main... Because
it's reincarnation.
Right. She comes back to, regain her previous reincarnated memory as Elizabetta. She remembers that life. And they really go into a little bit more of her. I mean, she's part of the love story. You have to have that connection between those two people. And I think they did a really good job with that. And we don't get that so much with the other Dracula versions that I've seen.
I think the one more point I want to add on Mina is the Mina in this new version is not as invested. Okay, instead of going to London, they go to Paris. Big deal. Big city off in the west of Europe. She is not as invested in the cultures or customs, even though she's from, northern France. She's just not as into the cultures of that city as she would be. Like, she is very much almost like she is an alien in that city too.
Yeah.
When she's ready to leave with Dracula, spoiler alert later on, she doesn't really care about Paris at all.
No. I mean, she has that sort of demure Mina that we would expect for that time period. But then once she starts getting those memories back, it's like she's a completely different, very more outward person than that.
So,
all right.
So
here we go.
Man, this
is a tough one.
So I'm going to take a hard take and say that Lucy isn't in the new story, which is great because Lucy is kind of just... I think Lucy is a bad plot device. And I think the replacement they have for her is a girl who goes by Maria, who is made by Dracula to find Mina. And Maria is the best friend any girl could have, especially if she was going to be kidnapped by a vampire.
Oh, yeah. You just want to be best friends with her. Like she is amazing from
she wants
from
to
the
be best
get-go.
friends with you. Like that's the thing. The way Maria just latches onto Mina and then treats her like a friend, and then frankly gets super manic and drags her around Paris to see things and wears her out. But
She's just full of energy and life, and it's so funny being an undead creature and be that much fun.
Super excited.
Everything you want.
Yeah,
when you become a vampire.
She is like the best friend all of us want. Like, oh my God, let's go do this. And then she just drags you by the arm. Let's go over here and check this out. You know, let's go to the opera. Let's go see the fireworks. Let's go to the opera and see the fireworks at the same time. And she's super excited. And then she does die later on, and I think that's lame.
She does have a glorious ending.
She's super hot, too.
Oh, yeah.
Super hot.
Stupid hot.
One of the things I want to bring up in this movie is the lack of nudity, which in a way I appreciate because when we watch, like, I don't have a problem with nudity. Like, I don't mind seeing, you know, some all natural people, but the Francis Ford Coppola version, it actually got kind of distracting when we were watching it.
It felt a little, well,
forced.
I'd say it felt a little unnecessary. But then again, I think that the story needed to depict that animalistic nature of being a vampire and the seduction of it. And that is the vehicle that was used to depict that in the story.
I haven't read through the book in a very long time, but I also think, though, that some of these Victorian stories were also kind of failed as a story when they were still kind of early romance novels. So I think Francis Ford Coppola was really trying to nail the book, and so he was probably trying to nail the feelings the book would give off. But this is more about their story. Back to Maria, though.
Yeah.
Because, like, we don't see anyone get naked. All the people are super hot. Maria, what's your favorite outfit that she had?
I think the one scene that sticks out, and if I had a picture of it that I could put on my wall, I would. And it's where we first encounter her in the asylum, right? The doctor, the priest, and the young man are there. And she's chained in this dark room. They've got the shutters closed. And she's wearing this white, like, I guess it's supposed to look like a gown of some kind, or like a dressing gown.
It was her wedding gown.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because she gets taken to the asylum after the wedding when she goes kind of mad.
She flips out when she sees the priest.
It's this beautiful scene where she's surrounded by, the circular skirt.
Yeah. I'm going to say this. Minus, okay, Lucy's dress she dies in, that was glorious. But I think, honestly, Lucy is a very two-dimensional, boring character. Frankly, she's just the epitome of sexual lust. Right. Even before or after she becomes a vampire in the movie. I think she's a representation in Coppola's movie of, like someone who's going down this path is going to reach this end. Like, because she has 3 different suitors that she's playing off of each other the whole time. Like, it's very much she's a slut and she dies a slut's ending. But Maria, on the other hand, you really go, man. Like, they come for Maria and they get her.
I think that's the difference in general with all of the characters, if we really look at it, is there's more essence to the characters in the newer film. Like, they're people. We're seeing their inner workings. We're having empathy for them. We get to see under the hood. They're not so one-dimensional or whatever.
I agree.
The other one, they're archetypes, and that's all they are.
Yeah, and I mean, they're archetypes to the point of a fault. Let's move on to Van Helsing versus the priest.
Oh,
and we're going to save Dracula. We're going to talk about the 2 Draculas last.
So,
and maybe a little bit Harker. But
actors, Anthony Hopkins plays Van Helsing in the Bram Stoker version.
He is so unrefined in that too. Like, he is really kind of. He's not making fun of the role, but he's making fun of the other people as he plays the role. Like, it's interesting.
I think that has more to do with the accuracy of.
I can see that, but I'm just saying that
I think Coppola made those decisions
Sir
on purpose.
Anthony Hopkins, when it comes down to it, did not do a lot of comedy. We're used to seeing him eat people or other roles where he's very serious.
Seriously.
Or when he's playing Odin.
Yeah.
But in this role, like there's a point where in Coppola's Dracula where he's humping on not Harker's leg.
It seems like no, it's one of the guys, one of the suitors.
But what I'm getting at is
with Lucy.
He knows what he's doing, but he's also very nonchalant.
Yeah, it's a characterization of a character almost.
Yeah.
It felt like. Whereas the actor What is his name?
Hold on, we're going to pause. Christoph Waltz?
Yeah, I believe so. Christoph Waltz. You may remember him from Inglourious Bastards.
That was the movie that broke him.
Yeah.
Like, that's the reason he has a career.
And he plays, instead of Van Helsing, it's the same character, basically. He's a priest. And he's called by the doctor to come in on this case, the church. He's like a special agent for the church for these weird cases.
You're right. It's Christoph Waltz.
Okay, cool.
He very much is playing a priest. And in this time period, a Catholic priest, not a Protestant preacher or minister, who is very pious and very much by the book.
Yeah.
And the stark difference between the two characters, both characters have either personally or their brethren have studied vampires. But Christopher Waltz is very much very serious about this.
You know, since you bring that up, it reminds me, because last year we watched Nosferatu, based on the same story, essentially. It was a way of getting out of the copyright so that they could, you know, back in the day, way long time ago. And I noticed that he doesn't even have a name, actually. It is priest. I noticed that the character, Van Helsing, from Nosferatu, I don't remember the name of the character, but essentially the same.
But Willem
but
Dafoe.
he also had that comical thing about him.
He kind of did, but his was also more kind of madness. Like, I mean, that's a little bit of what Anthony Hopkins has. You can tell he's kind of nuts. I mean, he hunts vampires. And
you have to be a little bit touched.
Willem Dafoe was very over emotional. I don't mean in a bad way, but like we needed
his character because it was going to get too serious.
Yeah, and he was also like, you know, warning these characters in Nosferatu what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Christoph Waltz, he nails his part. And it's a completely different polarized thing. And I think it's better than Anthony Hopkins.
I really loved his character. I love him.
Also, if I didn't say it, I think Maria is 100 times better character than Lucy. I think Lucy was boring. I think Maria is better in every way.
Wow. Lucy's an iconic character when it comes to vampire.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but she's always like getting it on with the supernatural. She's a supernatural hussy.
That's high praise.
My favorite Dracula TV show. Actually, I won't give away what she is in that because she's a whole different thing in that.
Yeah,
but she's still a supernatural hussy. Before we get to Dracula, though, let's finally touch a little bit more on Jonathan Harker.
We sort of talked about him before. I'm actually going to bring up Nosferatu again. Because I feel like the Harker character from the story, while of course Nosferatu, like I said, they're dodging copyright 100 years ago. They changed the names, but his character in the Nosferatu film was the most compelling to me.
You think so?
Yeah, he was the one that you were emotionally attached to. And the actor, every time I try to remember his name, Nicholas Hoult.
Do you want me to check? Keep going.
Check that wiki.
I'm going to pull it up.
I love him in everything he's been in. And I think he did an amazing job of that character. Now, Keanu Reeves, I love Keanu Reeves. Talked about it earlier.
Should I bring up my observation?
It is what it is.
What do you think of my observation I came up with earlier? Okay, so here's the thing. And I mean, right before, let's continue on. Nicholas Hoult, Hoult, Hoult or Hoult, as Thomas Huttner.
Yeah.
So I hate to say this because I think Francis Ford Coppola is a genius at times. Obviously, his latest movie, Megalopolis, was terrible. Part of the way he funded it was with making the Dracula movie in 92. I think he chose this all-star cast of people for Dracula and then chose Keanu Reeves because Keanu Reeves did not have the acting chops to pull it off to make Harker look less appealing.
I think it was a kind of pull in, Gary Oldman is the one, you really...
Gary Oldman is a god. Anthony Hopkins.
You do find yourself, as weird as that sounds, because honestly, through most of the film, he's just doing all the things that, well, let's just say that didn't age well.
You would think it didn't age, yeah.
It's very assaulty.
Very
It's
forward.
very
Very forward.
yeah.
Imposing.
But again, the book and the way that plays out, and then all of that. But you really do find yourself wanting Mina and the Count, that part of the romance. You feel drawn to it in this weird kind of way. You shouldn't be, but you are.
But in the new one, there's
in the new one.
I mean, in both of them, Harker, I feel no, like, obviously in the old one, Harker and Mina end up together, even though I don't know if he should if he should take her back after that. Like, is she ever going to...
Or she should take him back for his dalliance with the devils from the pit.
Woo!
Uh-huh.
But the thing is, I'm just concerned that maybe Keanu Reeves was cast at that time because he wasn't actually a great choice, because they were trying to make him as not... Like, so there wouldn't be a reason. He was
popular enough that...
Yeah, but Mina wouldn't want... Like, as the audience, we'd go, oh, why would she want him?
Yeah.
And it's because he had a limited acting potential compared to some of the rest of the cast. Most of the rest of the cast.
I mean, that's
in fact, Carrie
interesting thought.
Is in it. Fantastic, even though it's the same character he always plays.
Yeah, true.
Winona Ryder, the chick who plays Lucy,
a great Mina.
She did great. The chick who played Lucy did a great job of making her a supernatural hussy. But he still kind of lacks the skill to be there. Unlike the guy in this one, does a fantastic job of being a character we don't care to see end up with Mina.
Yeah, you don't dislike him, but
also at the end he doesn't.
He walks
off. He sees the ending of the two of them of Dracula and leaves. Like, he's like, oh, well.
He's like, well, I gotta
But
go.
also, he had chosen her shortly before his trip. Like, he's not as invested in her.
Right.
Which is, I think, also what they're trying to do. These movies are targeted at a certain demographic, so let's let that demographic go first. What did you think of the two versions of Dracula?
Oh, man, this is hard. I will not speak badly of Gary Oldman, because Gary Oldman is Gary Oldman, and he was amazing. He was amazing. Like, out of the whole cast.
You get serious when he's in black, don't you?
That was amazing. But, oh my heart, the new Dracula. I haven't cried that much in a film in a while. He has that rugged good look thing going on. I mean, and like, I don't know if it was a scar. Someone had said at one point that the tears, like the constant, 400 years of crying, grooves in his face, like, just from the devastation. There's a scene, of course he's just a broken, that's how the whole curse happens, and then there's a scene, he's been looking, he can't find her, and he crawls into her crypt. He pushes the stone away, and he crawls in there, and oh my god.
Yeah, he's sad. He misses her a lot. Like, he can't find her again for a while.
He is. It's so heartbreaking.
I didn't realize you cried that much.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Ugly crying in the theater. Did you cry?
No.
You have no soul.
Probably. The character in the new one, I think the new Dracula, he's a much more cohesive and deep character, and Gary Oldman's character is almost like it changes from scene to scene. Like, every scene, Gary Oldman is the character it needs to be for that scene, but that doesn't mean the character arc throughout the movie is consistent.
Yeah. I wonder... I would have to... It's been so long since I've read the story. I've started rereading it, but I'm only about a quarter of the way through it so far, and I kind of wonder if some of that might have to do with the telling of the story and the point of view, because we never really get Dracula's perspective on anything. It's all secondhand through these diary entries and letters and stuff. The Bram Stoker story has been romanticized since it was written. Madeline has opinions, apparently. But I think this telling is probably the most romantic telling of the story.
I agree, and I think it's the best version of them telling a story about the two of them. Everything else is basically pushed upon you, but still background. Like, it's a story. They also end it, obviously, back at the castle. And there's some more fights at the end, and it's really well done. It's really pretty. And Everyone should go see it.
Yep.
And because it's way better than the other ones.
Yep. Maddie, we have a kitty cat.
Well, looks like we have to tend to the local creature of the night. So are we wrapping this one up?
What is the quote?
What quote?
Children of the night, what music they make.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
See, she's on the ball.
Yep.
Anyway, we're gonna have some more vampire stuff coming up for you guys soon, right?
Yep.
We got some books to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Lots of vampire books, old ones too.
Dusty old tomes.
That might be a little smutty.
I do love my Victorian smut. All right. And, well, we'll be back at some point. I'd like to talk about Sinners at some point.
We need to talk about it.
The music in Sinners is amazing.
Also, if you disagree with anything you said, let us know in the comments. Make sure
Or
and
if
like
you
and
agree.
subscribe and share this with someone else who may disagree with something we said. That's how the algorithm works, folks.
All right. Well, we'll catch you later. And as always, stay spooky, my friends.
Stay spooky, Madeline.